Unlock your dream property with Meeks Realty Group, where Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality. Whether it's residential or commercial, we've got Charleston to Huntington covered. Your key to exceptional real estate experiences start here. Meeks Realty Group. Contact us at meeks.us.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
Hey folks, good Friday morning to you. Welcome to the show. The senior producer, Ryan Nicholson, is producing our show today. Happy Friday to you. I got a lot of stuff to get to on the show today, but as always, your phone calls and texts are at the top of my interest list. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony V. Taylor text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show comes to you from the Par-Mar Store studio. If there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon. Brought to you by Thornhill Auto Group, including Thornhill GM Superstore. Join Thornhill tomorrow for a magical day filled with holiday cheer. Bring the family out for live music, delicious food, reindeer games, Santa, and free toys for the kids while supplies last. It's all tomorrow. Thornhill GM Superstore in the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 in Chapmanville. Phone calls to the show, a service of Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly. Texting services provided by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony the Taylor, Virginia Street in Charleston. Visit bestmastertailor.com. Lots to get to this morning. Some big events going on in the area. One of those, the Downtown Association Santa Crawl. That is sponsored by the Downtown Charleston Association. We're going to talk to Morgan Morrison about that. The other, this toy ride for CAMC Women's and Children's. We'll be joined by some folks in the studio to talk about that. No Hannah Gardner this week, but I do have our Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week. I'll tell you all about that particular pet coming up a little bit later on the show. Plus, as always, your calls and texts are welcome too. But I want to get right to this. The announcement came on Wednesday toward the end of Talk Line that Hoppy Kercheval would be stepping down in the new year as the host of Metro News Talk Line. He's not going away forever. He's still going to be a contributor to the airwaves and other forms of media, but just not doing the daily Talk Line thing. The Dean of West Virginia Broadcasters, Hoppy Kercheval, joins us now. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, I won't keep you long because I know you still got your show to prepare for. You still got a lot of work to do. And I'm going to preview your show, as I always do every day. But you said on the show a couple of days ago that you thought it may be the time to make the decision. How did you arrive at that decision, sir?
Well, that's a great question. That is the existential question, Dave, and I've been thinking about it for a while. I'll give you a couple of bullet points on that. Number one is that I'm going to be 70 in February. I just checked, the average lifespan for a male in this country is 75.
I didn't want to know that, but thank you.
Yeah, well, not to be morbid about it, but think about it. So there is something that Joe Manchin calls QTL, quality time left. Mm-hmm. And so I think about that. One of my closest friends died in the last year from cancer, and I have no current health issues of any substance, but you do think about those things. And I didn't want it to be where's Hoppy today? Well, he got sick or something happened, and I didn't want to I wanted to have some of that time for myself and my family. That was the biggest thing. And there are a couple other reasons, too, is that it's a good time for Dave and for TJ Meadows to step in and take over. They are anxious to do that. They will continue to cover closely the issues in West Virginia like I have done, like you do. And they're younger. They're ready to go. So it's a good time for them, good time for the company. And then it just kind of feels right. I don't think it's definitive like, oh, yeah, this is absolutely the right thing, and I'm going to count down the days. It's not that at all. It just kind of feels right. I know I'm going to miss it tremendously because I've really, really enjoyed it. But for those and other reasons, it just feels like it's time.
Talking again with Hoppy Kercheval. What was it that made you want to go into this crazy business to begin with? Not talking about Talkline. I'm talking about just radio in general. What was it that made you say, hey, I want to do this?
Okay, quick story. In that I grew up on a dairy farm in Jefferson County, and it was out in the country. It was kind of lonely, and at night I had this old radio, and I would listen to the radio and listen to those old great AM radio stations around the country, like Super CFL in Chicago and WKBW, and it was an era of big-time disc jockeys, and I wanted to be a disc jockey. I wanted to be a radio star, and I got my first job as a disc jockey when I was like 18 or 19. And the first day I went into work, the person I was replacing handed me a folder, and it had some phone numbers scribbled on there. It said like, Sheriff's Department, here's the number. State Police, here's the number. Prosecuting Attorney, here's the number. I said, what's this? He said, well, you're also the news director. And I said, what do you mean? I don't care about the news. And he goes, no, you call these people and you see if anything happened. And I okay. So I did that, and I got interested. I thought, this is interesting. The songs are just the same over and over and over, but the news changes, and it's interesting. So I got interested in news, went to WV, went to the journalism school, got a job at WAJR, but that's how it all started. I had this, something struck me about radio, and then it, by accident, sort of transitioned into news and into talk.
Give us the brief history of Talkline. How did this show come to be? And it's gone through different phases, because I can remember putting on Talkline on the air years and years and years ago in Logan. And the Talkline we hear today is not the way that the show started out. Give us the brief history of that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Years ago, and everybody asked me, when did it start? And I honestly don't remember the year.
Was it around 89 or so, maybe? Is that right?
Probably something like that. And we were in a meeting, a company meeting. Dale Miller, who built this company, and a couple other people were in a meeting, and somehow the discussion of doing a talk show came up, and I was at the time the news director of Metro News, and it came up, and people were just spitballing ideas, and somebody said, we should do a talk show. And then somebody else said, yeah, Hoppy should do it. And I said, wait a minute. This requires a little more discussion, but it happened very quickly, and when I started, I thought what I had to do was what everybody else did. I thought I had to copy Rush Limbaugh or copy other people and have other people on with me. And it really evolved. And I had a number of people with me, and then it became me and Don Marsh, the late Gazette editor. Then Don passed away, and then it was just me. So it took a long time, and it was really an evolution to get to where it is now. And maybe, Dave, only in the last couple of years have I really become more comfortable and more self-assured about myself in that role.
Again, we're talking with Hoppy Kercheval, and as I said at the top, I know you're very busy. I won't keep you because you got to get ready for 10:06, and we can talk again later. But Hoppy, you are an institution in this state, and I just want to say thank you for all you've done for this industry and this state. I personally am appreciative for the advice you've given me over the years and just providing me someone to look up to. I started doing talk radio a little. I've done a little in the past, but full time. A little later in my career than what most people do. I'm like you. I did music. I still do music here in Charleston. But you're the inspiration, and you're the reason that myself and TJ Meadows and Dave Wilson, some of these other guys, and the ones that do what I do in other areas of the state, we look to you because that's the way it's supposed to be done, in my humble opinion.
Well, you're very kind, and what I've done, Dave, is we work for a great company. This is a wonderful company that still believes in the value of spoken word format in news and talk. And number two is just keep showing up. Just keep showing up and making mistakes, and hopefully, getting better as time goes on. And I really appreciate this company and people such as yourself and others who remain committed to news and talk radio. And I think it's valuable. I think what happens in this state is important. We're like a mid-sized community. I think it's important for people to know what's going on. You deal with those issues every day, and we're going to continue to do that with what you do, with what Dave and TJ are going to do, and I look forward to listening. I look forward to being a listener.
Eventually, everyone in the company will be named Dave, just so you know. That's why you're being forced out. Hoppy, I appreciate you. We'll probably talk to you again before you hang it up for good, but thanks a lot, buddy. I really appreciate everything.
Well, thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it. Have a great show.
You as well. All right, Hoppy Kercheval. And Hoppy is coming up at 10:06 with Metro News Talk Line from the Encove Insurance Studios in the Dale Miller Building in Morgantown. New WVU head football coach Rich Rodriguez is first. This should be an interesting interview. I will definitely be listening to that. Might we see another government shutdown? We touched on it yesterday based on a text to the show I got yesterday. Hoppy's going to get into more of that. Nucor in need of another $75 million. Stephen Allen Adams is on to talk to Hoppy about that, plus the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District, Will Thompson, on the sentencing of the former police chief of Gauley Bridge, who was convicted, this is a bizarre story, convicted of sex trafficking of a minor. He was the former police chief of Gauley Bridge, and Will Thompson will talk about that. Plus, Brad's on the show today, Jaron Halpert of Fox News Radio. And, of course, with it being Friday, that means Steam Release. Programming notes, someone asked me yesterday if Steam Release would be continuing after Hoppy retires and Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows take over. As far as I know, yes, it will continue. That's Hoppy coming up at 10:06. Now, normally, I would go right into talking to Hannah Gardner from the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association with this week's Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week. But everybody at the shelter is a little busy this morning, so I don't have them on with me. But I do have our Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week, as I always do. I urge you to head on over to my social media. It's Dave Allen Radio on Facebook or at Dave A70 on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. And take a look at Travis Jr. That is our dog today. He is a male. He's 2 years old, 32 pounds. He's neutered, microchipped, and vaccinated. Now, Hannah tells me that he came in as a stray. He is available to be fostered. He does appear to be dog friendly, and he prefers calmer dogs. Beautiful. I got a thing for beagles. Chris Lawrence and I were having a debate about this. He's a retriever guy. I'm a beagle guy. I love the beagles. But anyway, he's a beautiful, beautiful dog. His name is Travis Jr. I would love to talk to Hannah. We were just texting. I'd like to talk to her to know why he's called Travis Jr., but he's a beautiful dog, 2 years old, around 32 pounds, neutered, microchip, vaccinated, ready to go home. And if you want to foster one, he is definitely available to be fostered. We got his picture posted at Dave Allen Radio on Facebook and at Dave A70 on X. And Hannah, not with us this week because of some prior commitments. She and Angie and everybody at the shelter were kind of tied up this morning, but we will have them back on the show next week. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Bridge Valley. If you're interested in improving your company's IT workforce, know that they offer custom-tailored IT training to bridge the skills gap. You can train for little to no cost, 50-50 salary match. They can also supply skilled graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Check out bridgevalley.edu/apprenticeships today. Text says, Dave, how about the government giving another $75 million to Nucor? Total state funding to the highly profitable corporation rests at $390 million. Forget teacher raises as another use for that money. How about electrical upgrades to our older schools? How do we expect our children to compete in the job market if they don't have the skills necessary because the school's infrastructure is unable to power current technology? Hoppy asked why the state is giving more money to the highly profitable Nucor. It's because they're desperate, and our children have to do with less because of it. I'm going to get into, if I get time, a little bit later on to some of the stuff from Nucor. Appreciate the texter there. Text says, Dave, was there an Ask the Lawyer show yesterday? I don't see it on the podcast list. Yes, there was. I listened to it. Ron Hughes was in, Coop's on vacation. Ron Hughes was in on the show yesterday as the host with Harvey Payton. Maybe we can have Ryan or Matt Murphy, somebody check on that. I don't know why the podcast isn't there if it's not, but we'll check on it. We'll try to get it up. There was a show yesterday. We're going to take a break. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses care for your family.
For your build or restoration, you can always count on us. Professional service and dedication, Charity's the name to trust. Saving you more, saving you time, providing quality building and design, right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
Americans for Prosperity, West Virginia's Pathway to Prosperity, is a bold roadmap to help principled policymakers rapidly transform the Mountain State into a better place to live, work, and raise a family. To do that, we encourage state leaders to boldly adopt proven reforms that makes quality health care more affordable and accessible, empower parents, and expand education freedom to every child. rein in government spending, and cut taxes, allowing mountaineers to keep more of their hard-earned paychecks. While the recent work of the legislature has taken enormous strides toward breaking down the barriers that hold our citizens back, now is not the time to rest on our laurels. Instead, we must come together to double down on advancing freedom and opportunity to create more prosperity for every West Virginian. This is how we reignite the American dream. To learn more, visit wvpathway.com. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
$9:22. Sorry, I'm giggling a little bit because before we get into the next guest here, I got Steve Animal, who's just rolling around in the new chairs. We got new chairs here in the building, and apparently we didn't get any in the Mountain Studio, and there's a reason for that because
broken wheels in my studio.
Because Animal is just rolling around doing Steve Animal type stuff. Look, all right. You're okay. All right. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you part by Pinnacle Consultants. Poor indoor air quality can cause a whole lot of health issues, allergies, whatnot. Pinnacle offers specialized indoor air quality services for residential, commercial, and industrial type settings. Visit pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can hurt you. Text says, was the disgraced police chief a drag queen? The freakazoid Republicans said that I should be scared of drag queens and they were coming for our kids. Why do Republicans have no honor or integrity? Says a texter. All right, tomorrow, big event in Charleston, the 11th annual Southern West Virginia Toy Ride benefiting CAMC Women's and Children's Hospital taking place. The ride begins at 10, Daniel Boone Park, and will go to noon, I think, at Women's and Children's. Got some folks here to talk about it. Go ahead and just introduce yourselves.
My name is Corey Mohawk Hinkle. I'm the original organizer for the event. It started because my daughter Chloe Hinkle was in there 11 years ago.
Okay, and who do we have over here?
I'm Chloe Hinkle.
Better known as Giggles in my world.
Giggles.
Yeah.
Giggles. Animal referred to you as Giggles. Is there a reason why we were supposed to call you Giggles?
I don't talk a lot during interviews. I just really laugh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I have a laugh button.
Okay. All right. So let's start. Since she doesn't talk a lot, we'll go back to you. Okay. So if you don't mind, tell us the story. You said that your daughter, who's with us, was in the hospital there. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Tell us the story if you don't mind telling the story.
No, it's fine. 11 years ago in September there, West Virginia got hit with the upper respiratory infection real bad. It was infecting kids and stuff like that, and the hospital was over full. She was one of the ones that was in there with the upper respiratory infection, and she was in there for 6 days. And at the time, there was a lady that was working there by the name of Christy Bissett. And there's a playroom up there the kids can go to and get crayons, coloring books, puzzles, DVDs. Each room up there has a DVD player in it and TVs that if the families or the kids want to watch a movie while they're in there, they can. A lot of that stuff was broken, stolen. People decided to just take it upon themselves and walk home with it, I guess you could say. And I got to talking with Christy Bissett at the time, and that's where the toy ride come from. It gives the kids something to do while they're in there. No kid wants to be in the hospital.
Sure.
And if you're up there, if you have kids or anything like that and you're up there, it just sucks for them.
Yeah.
Most of them don't understand what's going on. They see all these machines, they see all these wires, they're uncomfortable, and it this gives them something to not so much look forward to, but maybe distract them or get their spirits up or something like that. So I got to working with her, and we ended up putting it together 11 years ago, and then it's grown to what it is now. It's a great thing.
Talk about that growth over the years of where it started 11 years ago and where it is now, because from what I understand, this thing is huge, man.
The least amount of motorcycles we've had riding this is 187. The most is 394.
394.
Yes.
Okay.
And it takes place every year, the third Saturday in December. We never change it.
So I would imagine you've done this thing in all sorts of weather, right? I mean, tomorrow it's going to be cold, but it's going to be sunny at least, from what I understand. So, but you've probably done this thing in all kinds of weather.
This event takes place regardless of the weather. The only way that it will not take place is if we're under state of an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
The coldest it's been one year, I think it was 6 degrees, and we had almost 300 motorcycles that year that rode in it.
Motorcyclists, I've said this before, motorcyclists are like golfers. They don't care what the elements are, especially if they're having fun and at the same time they're doing something to help out a cause like this. They don't care.
You'd be surprised. A lot of them are them fair weather riders. They don't.
Trying to give you guys a benefit of the doubt.
No, there's some fair weather riders that if it ain't above 85, they ain't getting on that motorcycle.
I understand that. that.
But this is that one time of the year that everybody comes together and does this one thing for the kids. And if you've never seen it or been a part of it, you can still drop off. There's still 15 or 16 locations that we got to pick up today.
I want to talk about that because you have been collecting, and I've got a list here of all these places that you have been collecting. And it would be easier in Kanawha County for me to give you a list of places that haven't been collecting, which I think has something to do with the spirit, and I always talk about it on this show, the spirit we have in this state of helping people out.
Yeah. Right now we have 15 or 16 locations. Blizzard's Custom Cycles, along with Backwoods Bar and Grill in Sissonville.
Yeah, I think I've got a list over here. Blizzard's, Generations Barbershop, Red Lobster, Charleston. I guess these are people that have where they can drop things off, right?
Yeah.
I don't get my list mixed up. Elk River Bar and Grill, Seattle Tony Tires of Hurricane, Fifth Third Bank, Kanawha City, Town and Country Lanes Nitro, T&M Meats Cross Lanes, Red's Barbershop, South Charleston, Gresham Plumbing, South Charleston, Swamp Fox Tavern, Sissonville, Johnson Controls in Polka, O'Reilly Auto Parts across Lane, Smith's Grocery Store of Elkview. I know you had some buy-ins from some of the Family Dollar stores around the area, Dunbar, Cross Lanes, Kanawha City, Marmet, South Charleston, and Charleston. So you just had a Dollar General stores. You just had a lot of folks that stepped out here.
Yeah. A lot of them places have already been picked up this week.
Okay.
Good Shepherd Veterinary Hospital in Kanawha City, BAM Trucking in Charleston, Dollar General in Glasgow. If there's a list on the Facebook webpage you can go to, and you can actually get the list of all 90-some locations that we have, and there's telephone numbers for each location. If you're wanting to donate still, you can call one of them numbers that are on there and see if the box has been picked up yet. If it's not, it'll be picked up today. Or you can come tomorrow between 10 and 12 to Daniel Boone Park and drop off a toy. We'll have enclosed trailers right now. The toys will go in and they'll be taken down there. The route every year is we leave Daniel Boone Park. We're there at Daniel Boone Park between 10 and 12. Right before we leave, we'll say prayer, and then we'll pull out maybe about 12:10, 12:15. We come straight down Pennsylvania. Wait, no, that's the boulevard. Mm-hmm. We'll come straight down the boulevard there in front of the Capitol to Pennsylvania Avenue. Then we'll make a right and come to Women's and Children's. If it's not something you've seen before, or if you got little kids and they like motorcycles or whatnot, there's a lot of people that sit on that boulevard in Pennsylvania Avenue.
Just watch, yeah.
And just watch the bikes go by and wave at us.
Yeah.
Being sick don't have no discrimination when them kids are in the hospital. I mean, it sucks hearing them kids and they're crying all the time because they don't understand what's going on, and this is just something to help them out.
What kind of toys are you asking for? I mean, I know you'll pretty much take anything, but is there a certain thing that you're looking for? I don't mean, just what makes it easier for you guys to deliver?
Anything new unwrapped, infant to 15 years of age, I guess you could say. Women's, children's. I mean, there's kids that come in that are 17, 18 years old. But the majority of the people that will benefit from this are on the peds floor and stuff like that.
Okay.
So infant to 15 is what I've always said.
Okay. All right. And people can, as you said, if they're not motorcycle riders, but they want to, they can stop by any of those places today, or they can just come out to the park tomorrow.
Come out to the park tomorrow between 10 and 12. I got a guy that dresses up as Santa. He's done my Santa for 11 years, Jimbo Barr. He's a great Santa Claus man for me. And then I got Michael Moore, he goes by Burnout. And he's been out all week long picking up boxes for me. One thing at work.
One thing about bikers is you won't find, in my opinion, a group of people that have a bigger heart than what bikers do. I mean, because you folks are all across this country are always doing things like this. And I know Steve and I've got Steve Animal from the Mountain in studio with me as well. And, we're both of us are really big on veterans things. I know Steve helps with the veterans, right? It's one of the great things I love about the biker community. You guys are always the first ones to step. If there's a tragedy, a flood, a sick kid, whatever, you guys are the first ones to sign up and say, how can we help?
Yep. Even though we look like we do some of it. Covered in tattoos and
you look like radio people is what you look like.
Radio people or professional wrestlers or something.
All the above.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about have a little fun here before we go about the nickname thing. I mean, how does one in the biker community acquire a nickname? You can't name yourself, right? Somebody's got to give you the name, right?
Yeah, I've had a mohawk since. I've had a mohawk on and off since probably 2004.
Because he's born with a mohawk.
You came out like that.
Yeah. And it's just something I've always had. So when I started riding, that was the nickname I had. It was Mohawk.
All right. So if Steve and I were to take up motorcycles, look at Steve Animal, who's sitting over to your left. What would Steve's nickname be?
Well, I mean, we could call him Graybeard.
Graybeard.
Nice.
Okay.
But he's already got that animal name.
Yeah, that's true. No, actually, Animal's actually his real name. So what would mine be? Be nice. Okay.
I don't know. What giggles?
All right. What do you think?
Well, that way we can get her talking.
Yeah.
What do you?
Because I've never really had a nickname.
She's on the spot. She's like,
all right.
What do you like to do?
Eat. Eat. A big sports fan. That's that kind of thing.
Call them snacks.
Snacks. Snacks. All right. You got that? Have you got that gray beard?
You will forever be known as Snacks.
So coming soon to one of these events will be appearance by Graybeard and Snacks. I see it. Hey, guys, before we let you go, give us all the details again. The ride is going to be tomorrow. You start at 10 a.m. You're collecting these toys for women's and children's. Give us all the details again.
We'll be at Daniel Boone Park in the morning from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We'll say prayer right before we leave, and then we'll get on the bikes and ride down the boulevard to Pennsylvania Avenue, and the toys will be dropped off at women's and children's through the loop. All that is required to participate is one unwrapped new toy per person on the bike. So
that's something we didn't bring out. If the biker wants to do this, they have to. That's their entry fee, pretty much.
The entry
right?
fee is one new unwrapped toy.
Okay.
If you have two people on the bike, that's two unwrapped toys.
One per person.
Yep. And if you want to donate today, you can contact me at 304-389-8509. I can meet with you, or I can let you know what donations or what places have not been picked up yet also. I'll be out today, me and Giggles over there.
Yeah.
We'll be out today finishing picking up boxes today and go from there.
All right, sounds good. And bikers can still what's the process for bikers to sign up? They just show up or
just show up.
Okay, just
show up with a new unwrapped toy
and you're in.
And that's it. We'll start there between 10 and 12 like I said. Show up. If you don't want to ride your bike, if you're from a long distance or something like that, Ohio, Kentucky, I've had people from Indiana come in. Charleston Moose parking lot, they've always allowed us to use their parking lot. You can always trailer your motorcycle in, park your trailer and vehicle there, and then Daniel Boone Park's right next door. The whole ride ain't but 2.5 miles long to the hospital and 2.5 miles back. Like I said earlier on the show with Animal there, suck it up. I mean, it's one time of the year you're going to ride in cold weather maybe. Yeah. Suck it up and deal with it. These kids are in the hospital. They have no choice but to be in there.
They're dealing with things that most of them are dealing with things a lot more important or a lot more difficult than cold.
Yes.
So, Animal, what do you want?
And I was going to say, traveling last year, it's amazing to see the kids pressed up against the window and hundreds of motorcycles are pulling into the hospital. So it's really something to be seen. So
that's awesome.
For that.
The kids look forward to it. I mean, come by and come down is the only thing I can tell you. And if it's something you can't make to the hospital, you get a lot of people that park down there at Shoney's on the boulevard and all up and down the boulevard just to watch the bikes go by. It's a real amazing thing.
All right. Appreciate you being here. Giggles and Mohawk, on behalf of Graybeard and Snacks, we appreciate appreciate you being here, guys, and God bless you for what you're doing out there. Thanks a lot. Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Bigley Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. Lots of activities going on in the area tomorrow, including the Santa Crawl. It's a pub crawl with Santa Claus. Downtown Charleston Association sponsoring that. We'll talk to Morgan Morrison of that group when we come back right after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses have been creating jobs in West Virginia since 1997.
The Poca Valley Bank family wishes the peace and joy of the season for you and your family. From their early days on the Pocatalico River in Walton in 1908, Poca Valley Bank has served individuals and businesses with the tools they need to grow and reach their dream. Now, Poca Valley Bank has grown to 8 locations and creates relationships in Putnam, Kanawha, Roane, and surrounding counties. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday Season. Poca Valley Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Americans for Prosperity, West Virginia's Pathway to Prosperity, is a bold roadmap to help principled policymakers rapidly transform the Mountain State into a better place to live, work, and raise a family. To do that, we encourage state leaders to boldly adopt proven reforms that makes quality health care more affordable and accessible, empower parents, and expand education freedom to every child, rein in government spending, and cut taxes, allowing Mountaineers to keep more of their hard-earned paychecks. While the recent work of the legislature has taken enormous strides toward breaking down the barriers that hold our citizens back, now is not the time to rest on our laurels. Instead, we must come together to double down on advancing freedom and opportunity to create more prosperity for every West Virginian. This is how we reignite the American dream. To learn more, visit wvpathway.com. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Bigley Piggly Wiggly on Spring Street has served 3 generations of shoppers since 1955 as the largest locally owned independent grocery store in the area. The Joseph family owners grew up here, so you know they're invested in the community. They provide the biggest variety of choice meats, the freshest produce, an in-house deli bakery, great wine selection, and more of your favorite brands. Every purchase gives you gasoline points so you can save at our pumps. Order online for pickup at BigleyPigglyWiggly.com. Bigley Piggly Wiggly on Spring Street. No one beats the pig.
We got 21 minutes away from 10. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. The Birds and Salango Law present the Salango Law Light the Night every night except Christmas night through the New Year's night at Gilmart Ballpark. Follow the Dirty Birds on Facebook for details. Get your tickets ahead of time. Please do that, dblightthenight.com. Text says, Dave, how about co-presidents Trump and Musk, along with Republicans, suspending the debt limit till 2027? I guess people didn't vote Trump for fiscal conservatism. Also, weren't Republicans afraid of unelected people running the government? Isn't that what Musk is doing, says a texter. Text says December 15th was the anniversary of the Silver Bridge collapse. The collapse caused the creation of the federally mandated inspection program. I would like to recognize those state DOT bridge inspectors that risk their lives every day to keep our bridges safe. Text says, is that snacks or snacks? Your public wants to know. They said snacks as in S-N-A-C-K-S or S-N-A-X. And Kevin and Morgan Morrison from the Downtown Charleston Association are here. Kevin Madison and Morgan Morrison. You're probably wondering, what in the hell are they talking about? So
what in the hell are we doing?
So let me set this up for you, just so you guys will know. Our last guests in here are doing their toy ride tomorrow for Women's and Children's CAMC, and they were explaining to me about motorcyclists and their nicknames. I had Mohawk and Giggles on the show, and I asked them, because Animal was in here too, Steve Animal. I said, if we were to give, because you can't give yourself a nickname, because mine would be like, King or something. Apparently there's a joke here. I don't know what that is, but anyway, okay. So I asked them what our nicknames would be, and we decided that Animals would be Graybeard, That's what they named him. And me, they said, what do I like? And people that know me know, first thing I said was food. So my motorcycle nickname is now Snacks.
Okay.
And
that kind of has a edge to it. I like it.
It doesn't have an edge to it. Yeah. But the thing about it is, I'm not a big snack person. I mean, you should call me steak or call me, because I'm filet.
Don't shoot yourself short.
Bobby Spry is brought you guys in here, and Bobby and I share an office. I do not want her do not give her the permission to ever give me a nickname. All right, just so you know, you cannot call me anything. Hey guys, how we doing? We're all caught up now.
Hey, we're good. Morgan, I know you can't see how we look here on the radio, but Morgan,
I've got a fit for the radio this morning.
Let me before we get to why you're here. Congratulations, you're doing the Dancing with the Stars.
I sure am.
Yes.
I sure am.
You and Evan Osborne,
Dream Team, baby,
for Capital Market. I mean, you guys are going, and I saw some of the pictures posted online. You're going to rock this thing,
Dave.
girl.
I said I sure as hell can't dance, so I just hope my personality to make people laugh and fundraising skills wins this thing for us.
Well, and I told her, because Morgan and I are from the same hometown, I said, you know how we handle things LA style if we don't win. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Other businesses know. Just know.
We don't compete, Dave. We
win. We don't compete. We win in LA. That's the way we do things down there. All right, so you guys are here to talk about the Santa Crawl tomorrow. Kevin, Morgan, get to it.
Well, I mean, the Santa Crawl is tomorrow, Saturday. We're doing the registration at 6. A lot of people don't know what Santa Crawl is. Santa Crawl is actually kind of inspired by SantaCon in New York. I used to always go to New York every year in December, and I always ended up there during SantaCon, and you just remember the first year being like, why are there Santa Clauses everywhere? And seriously, I mean, I'm not exaggerating. There are Santas everywhere, and it's basically one giant crawl of Santa Clauses. So, we're encouraging everybody to get their best version of a Santa suit ready. Every bar, restaurant pretty much downtown is participating. The wristbands are only $15, and it gets you no cover into anywhere. And exclusive drink deals for Santas. So it's going to be really fun.
I love the fact we have exclusive drink deals for Santas.
He deserves it. Everybody's Santa during the Santa Crawl.
Everybody's Santa. There's only one Santa, but these are all dressed as Santa. We want to make sure that people realize that.
Are you sure?
Yes. There's only one. But these folks are carrying on the spirit of Santa Claus. How did this whole idea come about? I mean, I know you said it came from New York, but I mean, it's one thing to have it there and to try to bring it here. Whose crazy idea was it to do that here in Charleston?
I'll give you one guess.
I'll give you one guess.
The only ADHD squirrel in the room, Dave, who just has random ideas at 3 a.m. and calls Kevin for permission at 6.
Go. Who we call this? Her nickname is Roxy, by the way.
Roxy.
During Holly Jolly Brawley.
Yeah.
And apparently I've been named Hazel.
Yeah, Roxy and Hazel.
I'm sure there's a story.
That's our Christmas.
There's a story there too.
We probably don't want to know because I try to keep this show PG-13. So how long is this? How long have you been doing this?
This is the first year.
First year.
This is the first year. Downtown Charleston is a Christmas vibe now.
It's a vibe.
And with the POTA being in place here in Charleston, kudos to Mayor Goodwin and her administration and staff, the city council for allowing Charleston to have POTA. It's changed the game. I mean, we can have.
And for those who don't know, explain what POTA is.
So
you guys are both business owners downtown, so explain what POTA is.
POTA, it's basically we call it the Capital City Sip and Stroll. So you can purchase an alcoholic beverage at several locations throughout downtown in the POTA footprint. And if there's a green sticker on the door, you can bring your beverage in and shop downtown, like, Purple Moon or Art Emporium. If there's a black sticker on the door, that means we sell you those alcoholic beverages, then you can come in and all that stuff and buy one. There's a couple businesses that have a red sticker on the door, just like, hey, we would prefer that you didn't bring that in.
And that's
it's
right.
Just a real cool vibe. And, the program's been amazing. I know it's helped, I can say on Summer Street at Black Sheep and 5th Street and Short Story. I mean, it's definitely, added to the bottom line. It's a great program. Everyone's done a great job being really well behaved with it. And, because of that, we can have these awesome events like the pub crawl we had in October. And then now we're doing the Santa Crawl. So, yeah.
Yeah, and, we always talk about, we put all this work into Holly Jolly Brawley. The decorations are great. Downtown is packed for the remainder of the year, but it's like all this hype, and then we just have 2 days of something to celebrate, actually going on. So by adding the Santa Crawl, it's something we've kind of tossed around for the last couple of years. The timing just didn't feel right. We were too packed. So this year it really felt like the right time to roll it out, and we hope that it's successful. We hope it's something that can become a tradition, just like everything else we do. We saw a really good turnout for Brawloween, which we did in October. And like Kevin said, it's all about supporting businesses, supporting the bar, not just the bars, but the businesses. When people come downtown at 6, they're going to eat. They're going to stop at a shop they see. So it really just helps everyone, and it creates fun memories downtown, which is really just what we both want. So we're excited to do this. And it's my 30th birthday.
Tomorrow.
So what better way to celebrate?
It's all this is for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Every bit of
that's me.
That's exactly right, Dave. I'm just here for support.
That's exactly right. I want to talk about let's talk about the whole Holly Jolly Brawley thing. I mean, you had the big events, the Black Friday and the day after, but the trees are still there. Things are continuing. It's just been awesome.
Yeah, it looks incredible. I have to say, I think this year has been my top favorite. It looks amazing. Weather's been pretty good. The trees do stay up, to the first of the year. And then those of you who don't know, we had the voting, on the 29th and 30th of November, and Astorga Auto, was first place.
Counseling Nook was second.
Yeah. And then the West Virginia Kids Cancer Crusaders were third. But these people stepped up their game.
Did you see Astorga Auto's tree? Yeah. They had a whole Mercedes at the base of their tree.
They took it to another level.
They deserved first place. So shout out to John Brown. He was so tore up last year. He's like, I'm going to come back and I'm going to win. I was like, you will, John. I have faith. And look at him. He did not disappoint. Honestly, none of the trees disappointed this year because, we hang lights. We do the light show. We do the little snowflakes. But it's up to the tree sponsors to make Holly Jolly Brawley magical because the majority of the decorations are the trees, and these are things that people pay out of pocket. They decorate themselves. We just give them a tree and a stand, and they do it all. So it's really a community effort to give that magical feeling, and they truly went above and beyond. Like TC Energy's tree, their topper is a 3D replica of the new TC Energy building as the up house. I mean, all these like custom elements, it just makes it incredible. So it's really cool to see everybody put pretty much just as much effort as we do into it.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, presented in part by Generations Physical Therapy. 9 practices, all offering extended hours, so access to physical therapy has never been easier. For an appointment, 304-760-5660 or visit generationspt.com. I want to give you folks, both of you, of course, are owners of businesses in Charleston, or part of businesses in Charleston. I want to give you an opportunity to just invite people. I know this is the last weekend before Christmas. You got, today, tomorrow, Sunday. You got the event going on tomorrow, but Monday, and there'll be, some things on Tuesday. A final thank you, a final invitation to come to downtown Charleston. Either one of you, Kevin or Morgan, either Morgan of Rock City and Kevin of Blacksheep, either one.
I'll go ahead. I mean, this is the time of the year to give back to these local businesses. And for some it's been tough for some. For some, it's not. Business has been good. But yeah, I mean, we'd love your support this time of the year. I mean, these are the same businesses that are supporting, school events and sports teams throughout the year. And you've got hardworking people at all of these different restaurants and, establishments, increased business, it pays their bills and it helps them have a great holiday season. Retailers, I mean, everybody, yeah.
It's also, Matt Sutton made an amazing post a few weeks ago on Facebook. I know we all see it on Facebook talking about how the mall is dead, how Charleston just isn't what it used to be during Christmas. And that may be the case, but, if you go one block over, it can be shoulder to shoulder some weekends. And you have an entire community banding together to make Charleston magical and beautiful during Christmas. And we have the Holly Jolly Brawley Trolley, which takes you straight to Light the Night, to Capitol Market. Charleston is still amazing during Christmas. It's getting better and better every year, and there's literally thousands of people coming down here every weekend. And so we just really want to get the message out to invite everyone who may not be familiar with downtown Charleston, and you may only know the town center. go 1-2 blocks over, and you're going to be amazed at the businesses and the decorations and everything. And it's shops local. It's different, but it's still good.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they got off their chair behind their computer, and stopped being an internet troll and making comments like that,
be positive, Kevin. That was a positive Christmas message. Don't turn it negative.
I'm being positive too, but
it's easy. Look, guys,
it's easy to pick out the bad things, but
I agree.
But there's way more positive things happening in Charleston than there are negative things, and I wish people would just get on that.
And there are internet trolls, but I truly think, I'm from Logan County, Dave. My family knows how to get to Walmart in Southridge, and they know how to get to the mall and maybe the Civic Center. They're not familiar with downtown. They don't know that Capitol Street exists or Summer Street. And we may not realize it because we're so immersed in downtown, but 30 minutes either direction couldn't tell you anything about downtown. It feels like New York City to them. So it's important for us to get the message out to them, let them know we exist. One way's maybe a little scary, but I promise it's not that bad. And really you're not going to get mugged as soon as you get out of your car. It's safe. There's a lot of really friendly faces, and we want them to come down here and experience that. And I can speak firsthand. I know a lot of people from Logan County who this was their first time downtown during Holly Jolly Brawley this year. They had family photos made. They ate in igloos. And this was like a big step for them because this was out of their comfort zone. This was out of their element. And they all left with a really good impression of Charleston in their head. So that is what we want.
Yeah.
And the only way you can drown out that negative is just by pushing more positive down people's throats. And that's what we're here to do.
Pushing positive down people's throats.
You're going to get it whether you want it or not.
That's right.
I think I like that. And Bobby is, this one of our sales weasels who's in the studio this morning. I think you should put that down as their marketing now for Downtown Charleston Association. Pushing positive whether you want it or not. How's that? That's give us the details again about the Santa Crawl tomorrow.
Santa Crawl registration starts at Black Sheep. On the Summer Street party side, you'll see somebody out there as Santa. Whether it's me or I make Clayton, I'm not sure.
The time?
Start registering at 6 o'clock. But the pub crawl, it goes on all night.
Okay.
Basically 6 to 10.
All right. Well, guys, probably won't have you in before Christmas, so thank you and God bless you for what you folks and so many others do for not only because these things. We talk about downtown Charleston, but when you couldn't do it with just Charleston. These people that are coming to these things are coming, as you said, from southern West Virginia. They're coming from South Charleston, St. Albans, Tays Valley. They're coming in to take these things in.
They're coming from Virginia, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan. We, in the restaurant, you see, there's families traveling. It's incredible. They love it.
All right. I appreciate you both being here and have a very, very happy holiday season. By the way, on Tuesday, programming note, on Christmas Eve day, we will be doing our annual Jewish Christmas Spectacular with Mike Pushkin, who comes in. We don't talk politics. I tell him, to check your stuff at the door, buddy, and others. So if you guys are out and about and you want to run in, I've got the studio's a lot smaller. I just hear
that Adam Sandler song in my head. I hope you play that as the intro to this show.
He's going to be playing different Christmas music he does every year. He's got a guest that's coming in with him. So it's must listen to radio for sure because it's politics free. We just talk, Pushkin plays his little twanger and we just talk about positive stuff, whether you want it or not.
Pushing positive.
They're pushing it down your throat.
They're pushing it down your throat, whether you want it or not. It's on Tuesday, and I'm telling that for the listeners too. It's Tuesday, the Jewish Christmas Spectacular, when Pushkin and I come together for one day. And create some positivity and junk. All right. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses are small businesses with big impact, including Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness.
Americans for Prosperity, West Virginia's Pathway to Prosperity, is a bold roadmap to help principled policymakers rapidly transform the Mountain State into a better place to live, work, and raise a family. To do that, we encourage state leaders to boldly adopt proven reforms that makes quality health care more affordable and accessible. Empower parents and expand education freedom to every child. Rein in government spending and cut taxes, allowing Mountaineers to keep more of their hard-earned paychecks. While the recent work of the legislature has taken enormous strides toward breaking down the barriers that hold our citizens back, now is not the time to rest on our laurels. Instead, we must come together to double down on advancing freedom and opportunity to create more prosperity for every West Virginian. This is how we reignite the American dream. To learn more, visit wvpathway.com. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Bigley Piggly Wiggly on Spring Street has served 3 generations of shoppers since 1955 as the largest locally owned independent grocery store in the area. The Joseph family owners grew up here, so you know they're invested in the community. They provide the biggest variety of choice meats, the freshest produce, an in-house deli bakery, great wine selection, and more of your favorite brands. Every purchase gives you gasoline points so you can save at our pumps. Order online for pickup at BigleyPigglyWiggly.com. Bigley Piggly Wiggly on Spring Street. No one beats the pig.
Merry Christmas. This is Richard Lindsay. I was elected to the Kanawha County Circuit Court bench last May. I want to take this opportunity to thank my family, friends, and supporters for their trust in me. To all others, I hope to earn your trust and respect over the next 8 years. At this time of year, I hope that we can all forget our frustrations, focus on our family and friends, and cherish our community. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and may God bless you all.
Paid for by Richard Lindsay for Judge.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Live Healthy West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine. It is a podcast aimed at fostering healthier lifestyles and beyond the state. Great resource for all. Check out the latest episodes, WVMetroNews.com, to the podcast menu and start your journey towards better health today. Bigley Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaylor text 304-935-5008. Text says, Happy Secession Day. Without South Carolina's secession on December 20th, 1860, there would be no West Virginia as we know it, says a texter. Text says, let's be honest, the main reason a lot of people don't like going downtown anymore, especially Capitol Street, is the crazy screamers and cart pushers, says a texter. The Dave Allen Show also brought to you in part by Fresh Air Filters of Tays Valley. Fresh Air, your trusted filter experts for both your home and business. Call 304-440-1104 or visit Fresh Air Filters, because everyone deserves fresh air. A couple things here. I'll be working tomorrow along with our sister station 107.3 The Beat at A to Z Outlet in Jefferson, as we're going to be giving away $10,000 in cash. So come by and see myself and Woody Woods and G Money and the crew from The Beat. They've kind of roped me into this 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tomorrow. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Huston's Pizza. Check out the holiday pack, large 18-inch Huston's pepperoni pizza, 10 breadsticks, 12 hot wings, and a 2-liter Pepsi, $33.99. Find your nearest Huston's for delivery, pickup, or dine in at HustonsPizza.com. Also brought to you in part by Huntington and by the Department of Health and Human Services. A quick text here says, happy Rich Rodriguez Day to all who celebrate. Rich Rod will be on with Hoppy as the first guest coming up at 10:06 this morning. Folks, have yourself a great weekend. Lots of activities going on in the area this weekend. Take them all in. I'm back on Monday, and then the Jewish Christmas Spectacular coming up with Mike Pushkin and myself and a cast of thousands on Tuesday's show. See you Monday. Have a great weekend. Have fun. I love somebody.
WCHS-AM, W243-DRFM Charleston, and W283-AQ Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here, too.